For those of you instructors new to Canvas, I wanted to show you how to do your grading. So I'm going to give you a little overview and show you some things that I've learned because I'm new to this program as well. I'm logged into the course as myself, and when I enter the course, there's the recent activity area along the left-hand side of the screen. There I can see some helpful information. For example, I can see there's 11 discussions that I'm a part of. If I click the Show More link on the right, I can take a look at those, and if I clicked on the link, it would take me into those areas. Now, some of these are things I'm finished with. I don't need to be a part of them anymore. So I can just click the X over to the right hand side beside those things I've completed and just get those off of my list. So that's how that works. Notice there's a little blue button there. That means I've never looked at that area. That gives me a little clue that I've not seen that or looked in that area. I'll show less now on that area, and I could show you assignment notifications. If I click Show More, it's the same setup. I can see some assignments that I've been notified about. And if there's ones I just want to get out of the way, I can come and click the X box beside them, and those will diminish off of the list. So I'll show less on that area. I can see my email conversations. If I click Show More, there I can see those conversations. If they're ones I no longer need to be alerted to there, I can just clean those out. So I know none of them right now. Also, if I go into my inbox, that's where I can get more information, but I'll do that in just a little bit. Then there's announcements, and there's 11 of those. So if I show more there, I can look at those, and the ones I want to keep are these top 3 that I'm concerned about. These others are from past courses that I wasn't really involved in, so I'm just going to X them out because I don't need to have them on my list anymore. So now there's just these 2 announcements, and if I click Show Less, this will reset itself in a little while. Now, over to the right is something I really wanted to show you. Notice in my to-do list, I am alerted that 2 of my students have completed an assignment and I need to grade it. So I'm going to do that right now. If I click the link, it takes me right into the grades for that area, and it shows me the student. Now this is a mock student, so that's great by me. And I can come here and use the Crocodoc tool to mark up this paper. So for example, I can add a comment. That's what's actually the clicked button there. You can see it depressed. And I can add a little point comment. So if I click that and tick, it'll put a little box right beside that word syllabus, and I can add a comment over to the right. If I did that and did an area comment, that makes my cursor into a crosshairs where I can, where I can select a portion of the page. It puts a box around it, and I can add another comment. If I do that again and choose a text comment, that lets me do some things with text. I can come here and get the highlight tool. I'll make it green, and I can come below and highlight the area. That lets the person know I'm talking about the required reading, and I can add more comments. Also, I can draw on the page if I wanted to. So if I click draw, and I'll make a little red mark there for my color. I can put a star at the top if I wanted to. I can highlight things if I want to in the choice of colors. So I can highlight, well, I got those done. I can type text in lines, so I could choose the size. I can also strike out. So if I click strike out and come and highlight something, it strikes it out, and notice there's a box right above it, and I could put the correct correction here. Notice I had that in pretty big type, so if I wanted to make it smaller, I highlight that and change it to whichever font I'd like. So there, that's an inline comment. So I can look at this student's paper. I can also download that paper by clicking this link. I can put the grade for the paper here. And then if I wanted to add comments, I could. I could also make a little video of myself if I want to. I can attach files as I like. So that came right from that entry page. Let me go back. So to navigate around, I could come here. I could go to the course. This course's gradebook. Back to the course home. I can also click this drop down arrow and see that another student has submitted a paper here, and I can tell because it's got an orange mark on it. So if I click that one, there is my other student's paper that I've already put some points on or markup on, but I never did put the points in. So I'll put some points, click enter, and that will save that grade. So now there's nothing, these both have been completed. So I'm going to click on the course home for this course, and I'll click on PLNU forward to get me back to the entry page for Canvas. Notice on the right hand side it takes a little while for the information to refresh itself. Now notice there's nothing more on my to-do list to do. I can see some things that are coming up. These are things that my students need, and there's some others from the past week. If I click on those, I can see these are additional items coming up, and that helps me with my grading. Now I want to show you another thing. I'm going to go into my course, and I'm going to go into the grades area for my course. I'm focusing in on a mock student's grade that I placed here. To grade this student, I came to this student's box and I clicked on the little cloud in the top right corner. You can see I typed in the score already and I put in a comment. I also used the rubric to grade this student's work. But to show you this, I'm going to choose the More Details in SpeedGrader link. So that takes me in. This is what the student typed in the text box. So there's no Crocodoc. I can't mark up this that was submitted. This is just a text submission that was made. I can read it. Let's see what this drop down has. That's in paper view, and here's in plain text view. It's no big difference there. But I cannot mark up like I could on that other paper, which was an attached file. But here I can view the rubric. Notice I can view the rubric here. I've already marked this student's paper, so you can see I've already marked it right here. But if I wanted to show you the rubric, I could come here and I could change that. I could say, nope, this student didn't click the submit button. And that would change the student's points to 0 points. And it would change the grade from 10, which it was, down to a 6.67. But I'll change it back. So she's got full marks. And then my next criteria was provided thoughts about online learning, and I gave full marks for that. Had I said 0, I could say 0 points there. And I can click on this little cloud bubble and add additional comments just for that criterion. But I'll cancel that and I'll take it back to full marks. So that's how easy it is to work with the rubric. Once I click save, the score updates itself, and I can add more comments I want and submit comments as I like. If I click this link, I could go to see if any other students have completed that assignment, and they haven't. So I'll go back to the course home by clicking course home in the navigation, and I'm back in my course. Also, while I'm here, I can look at the course analytics. So right from that entry page, there's View Course Analytics. If I click that link, I can go in and see the activity that's been going on in the course. Now it just started this morning. So there isn't anything there to report. We haven't conducted any discussions yet. I can see the assignments that have been turned in. I can see the grades. There's been some grading that has been completed. And I can see the students' names and what they've done so far, their current score, their assignments that they've turned in, their participation, and then their page views, how many pages they've viewed. So you can see who's gone where. Now none of these are clickable links unless I click on the student's name. Then I get taken directly to this mock students area. I can see what she's done today if I set my cursor over it. I can see the assignments she's done and the grades that were given. And these are ones to come up. They are due this week. And there's more grades. This gives you the median, the high score, the low score. So there's that. Let me go back to the home page for this course. Let's click on View Course Stream. That just shows up what's coming up along this area. So that's what that does. Notice in my inbox, just since I've made this recording, I've got a new message. So if I click that inbox, I will see a new message from one of my students. So there I can click on the link, and I asked this person for some feedback, and the person has written me back, and I've received the message through Canvas. I also received the message in my Point Loma email because I have my notifications set up that way. Any information for emails sent through Canvas will be forwarded to my Point Loma email. So I can look at his email and then I can respond if I'd like to. There's a little reply button. I could delete the message if I wanted to. This drop down gives me other information that I'd like, if I'd like to use it. So that was right there in the inbox. Hopefully these hints will help you as you begin teaching with Canvas.